welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So today I'm here with a really cool, exciting phone that's not out yet, so don't get your hopes up too much, but the Kickstarter I believe is starting soon. It's the Unihertz Titan Slim. Now this is just an unboxing, kind of a surface level look at things. I can't talk about the specs and stuff. It's still kind of hush-hush, but they did send one out to me early. They said I could make an unboxing video, so I just wanted to take the opportunity to show you what the phone looks like, look at the keyboard, some of the other things, so you can get a good feel for what it's possible and capable of doing. And I think it's pretty neat. So let's go ahead and take it out of the box, and I'll quit yapping and we can look at the phone, right? And here we have the Unihertz Titan Slim. I've been really excited about this. It was actually supposed to be here like 6 weeks ago, but there were some delays, and then the shipping took absolutely forever to get here. So I have it now. And yes, let's go ahead and take it out of the box. I didn't need my handy dandy unboxing tool. It's here on standby, but I didn't need it because it was already opened. So yeah, is there even any documentation here? So the one they sent me doesn't have documentation, but whatever one you might happen to buy should have some. There's a SIM removal tool, and here is the Titan Pocket Slim itself. And there we go. Oh, sorry, I got a case on it too. I'd imagine that they'll probably have some sort of a case with the Kickstarter. That was the case, pun intended, with the Titan Pocket last go around that you could get. So yeah, there we go. You've got a cutout for the Unihertz branding, and then you've got also this cutout for the camera up there. I gotta say, it's a little thicker than I thought it was gonna be. It did look slimmer, but I gotta say this is an improvement over the Titan and the Titan Pocket, I think. This is their first one that's not like a big brick, essentially. So, glossy finish on the back. You can see there's one camera back here and an LED flash. Volume rocker and the power button on the right-hand side, and we've got our selfie camera up here. Let's hold it next to a BlackBerry so you can see what it looks like. Now, it is more narrow than the Key 2 LE, which is what I have right here. This is a BlackBerry Key 2 LE, same dimensions effectively, at least the size as the Key 2, 4.5-inch screen. This one I can tell you has a 4.2-inch. Now, I can't get into any other details really about the phone. I wanted to show off the keyboard and the dimensions and also some other stuff, but you can see it is slimmer, it is more narrow. It's not a exact carbon copy of the Key 2 LE, and it's definitely not as thin. It's about twice as thick and probably about twice as heavy, but it has a decent balance to it. It doesn't feel overly bulky. It doesn't feel super heavy. It's definitely heavier than the Key 2 LE, but yeah, I kind of like the back too. It's an interesting take on the design here. You can see how it catches the light. Let's see how it catches fingerprints. Man, it doesn't seem to be the worst in the world. I mean, I've seen worse. Now, the keyboard, which is what everybody wants to see. So you got a little bit of a chin right here. Then we got the space bar, which of course is tiny. It's also kind of reversed and angled up. You can see it's got an edge there like they always like to do. Then we've got the 1, 2, 3, the 9 keyboard here. We've got the shift key, the symbol, the back. It's still got the physical buttons for those. I gotta say the tactility on here is definitely the best so far out of any of their phones. I am actually pretty happy about this. This is way better than the Titan Pocket. It's light years better than the Titan. So I'm really looking forward to getting to test this out and fire it up. All that good stuff. It looks like it's got 2 dedicated slots over here. That's kind of weird. Let's take a look at that. I'm guessing one is for the SIM and one is for an SD card, but who knows? Maybe it's 2 SIM card trays. That would be interesting. So we got a SIM tray there. We also got the smart key over here, which is programmable. And nope, just looks like 2 SIM card trays. Kind of interesting how they did that. But hey, they're metal, so it's got that going for it. Hopefully they don't get mad at me for sharing that. I don't know if it's got stereo speakers or not. You can see it charges USB-C on the bottom. Let's go ahead and fire it up. Now again, I can't do too much with this. I can't give away the secrets of the kingdom. They haven't officially launched their Kickstarter yet. They are trusting me with this, sent it out to me early, so I don't want to violate that. As inquisitive as I am, as you guys are as well. And it's funny because I had to fight with them to give me the specs. I'm like, look, I'm going to review this, so I need to know what's under the hood. I promise I won't tell anybody what's under the hood. And the only reason I said it's got a 4.2-inch screen, I mean, it's pretty apparent. It's one of those dimensions you can look at. I don't think they're going to be overly heartburned about saying what size screen is on here. At least hopefully I don't get a notice from the legal team. But you can see definitely there is a difference in the size. More narrow, not as big of a screen. And I got to get this set up so I can actually spend some time with it. But there you have it. This is the Titan Pocket Slim. Comes with a power adapter, so that's nice. Something you don't get with a lot of other phones nowadays, so I'm glad that they have stayed the course there. 5 volt, 2 amp, so typical quick charge 2. It's USB Type A to Type C cable that they also put in the box. So you've got basically everything you need to get going straight out of the box. Okay, as you can see, I have it set up now. Got my apps and stuff installed, at least the basic ones I use on a day-to-day basis, my home screen. I gotta say, I am absolutely loving Android 11 on here. The biggest thing that I talked about for the longest time, and I wish we would have got Android 9, maybe even Android 10, with the BlackBerries, it feels so natural and intuitive with the swipe gestures. I really am happy about this, to be able to go back and forth, and you can see it's pretty snappy. I can't talk about the specs that are in here right now, but once I get around to my review, probably like 2 weeks from now, they said it was okay to go ahead and do the unboxing, and they don't control what I say when it comes to the actual phone, but nice gentleman's agreement. They don't even have the Kickstarter up yet. I'm not going to be like, okay, let me spill the beans on what all's in here, so just be respectful of that. I'm talking more about just surface level stuff, and of course the keyboard. We want to talk about that. It does have the shortcuts and gestures again. You get the short press, so we can do that. I've got my long press set for C to go to Chrome. So you get the short press to long press. You can set it up for all the keys. You can see here we've got the menu button, the back button, symbol, alt, function. So you can do all those things. You've got your smart key over here on the side, just like the previous Unihertz phones. The keyboard. Everybody wants to know about the keyboard. Now, the first thing I'm going to say, I really hate the placement of this fingerprint sensor / home button. It is nice to have this capacitive home button. It vibrates. There's also an LED indicator. I guess it's right there. You can change the color for a few different things. Not super customizable, but it is nice that it has that. And there's this space bar there, also very small. You can see they changed the angle on these things. Of course, the biggest thing is they don't want to get sued by BlackBerry. So you can see there are different changes, like the way the buttons are angled, the way they're designed. These have a Unihertz characteristic kind of slope up to them with a little ridge up on the top. There's a reverse ridge there for the space bar. A lot of things they do differently. This one does give me the most brain freeze with the keyboard because it does very closely resemble a BlackBerry. My memory just wants to press everything where it's supposed to be at. I keep thinking the Alt key is over here. I think the symbol key is over here. It'll take some getting used to. The tactility on the keyboard is way better. And as you can see there, we do have the swipe gestures support, so you've got that going for you as well, just like the previous Unihertz ones. Let's take a look at the keyboard. The tactility on here, definitely the best so far out of the Unihertz typing experiences in the keyboards. Very easy to press the buttons comparatively. It's not quite as soft as the BlackBerry one yet, but it's within probably 5 to 10% with this iteration. So we'll do something in here real quick. We're going to send something to 123 just because I don't want to send anyone any messages right now. So we'll type here. This is the Unihertz Titan, not so slim. So they call it the Slim. You can see here, though, it's not very slim comparatively when it comes to the BlackBerry. It's about 2 times thicker. So there's that. Let me go ahead and take this case off of here. I don't know if the official unit's going to come with the case. I don't know if this is going to be like a, hey, if you buy this bundle, you get this, or how it works. They did that kind of with the Titan Pocket last go around. It's decent, adds some texture, not really a lot of heft. It's a very thin TPU case. This is the back. I do like the design. I like the way that it looks. So we'll get back to, it's copying everything that I'm saying right now. So we'll get back to the typing. It's not set up to where you can swipe back to delete everything. But, hey, nothing is perfect, right? Okay, I like typing. See, I keep hitting the home button and it drives me crazy. Especially when I go for that top row. It's going to take some getting used to. So you can see, I have a very strong history when it comes to typing on BlackBerries. This right here, you can see I'm able to type on it fairly proficiently until it comes to hitting symbols and alt keys and numbers and stuff like that. And then my brain's like, I don't know what to press. So I've got to get this built into my memory. It's going to take me probably another week or two to get used to this again. But again, the keyboard, the key press I think is fine. It's not too hard to type on it. The Titan Pocket, I did like that keyboard, but the keys were a little small and they were very, very, very hard to press, especially in the beginning. They did loosen up a little bit. These right here I expect to be a lot better. So yeah, just a couple things there. You can see a lot of other observable things. Only one camera on the front, only one camera on the back, LED flash. A lot of these design decisions I'm sure are to keep from getting any legal notices in the mail from BlackBerry, which I don't blame them at all. The big thing I'm happy about here is this keyboard, and it seems to be pretty serviceable so far. Alright, so that pretty much wraps it up on my initial impressions, kind of a first look at the Unihertz Titan Slim. So many Titan names in my mind, I keep wanting to call it the Titan Pocket Slim. It is a Titan Slim. Yeah, it's not the most slim. The form factor is not bad though when you're holding on to it, and that's one thing when it comes to like the BlackBerry. It is kind of thin, so I wish this one would have been maybe a little bit thicker, but of course that's the design they went with for that phone. This one here, it does feel very natural in the hand. The keyboard does maybe feel a little low. It's kind of low down on the phone. Of course, I mean that's how they are. But trying to reach down to that bottom row, I have kind of smaller hands, so maybe that has something to do with it. It is definitely a smaller keyboard. The tactility though is good. The feedback when you press it, it's responsive, and I'm enjoying typing on it so far. Really, the big thing is just getting my head wrapped around it and getting my thumbs used to the right key presses for the right place at the right time. That will come with muscle memory. It feels snappy though. The intuitiveness and being able to use the gesture, the swipe support, I totally love that. That's what BlackBerry was missing with Android all along coming over from BlackBerry 10. There are a lot of things that Unihertz has done right here. Definitely on the third iteration, a lot of improvements. So as I'm able to test it out, review it more, I've only had this for a couple of hours now. This is really just okay, I got it. Let's take a look at it. The Kickstarter hasn't even started yet. I believe you can sign up now so you can get notice once they get the first wave out when it comes to the Kickstarter project to get, I think they said like 48, 47% off, something like that. Definitely you want to hop on this early if you're interested in getting one because the prices are super cheap when they do that. I wanted to buy one for a giveaway last go around with the Titan Pocket. If you got in on the early Kickstarter, I think it was even like less than $200 or something. So we'll see. Things I have concerns about, of course, are compatibility with the networks here. AT&T, Voice over LTE, I'm sure it supports that. The Unihertz Titan Pocket did. But yeah, using on AT&T is like 99.99% going to be a no-go. T-Mobile should be perfectly fine. I don't know about Verizon. It probably will work with them, though, because the Titan Pocket, from what I know, if you put a SIM card in that was already activated, it would work because of the GSM stuff now. So I'm hopeful that you'll be able to use it on some of the carriers here and not have problems. But again, AT&T is going to be problematic. And yeah, that's about it. First glance, just using it for an hour or two now, I am impressed. It's definitely the best one they made so far. I think there's reason to be excited here, especially since there is no BlackBerry. There hasn't been a new one in like 4 years. And yeah, Android 11 is super nice with the physical keyboard. I like it. So that's all I've got. Of course, I know there will be questions. There will be comments. Please go down in the comment section. We'll talk about it. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.